I'm going to need some of this because I need to clear my throat because I'm going to be talking for probably a while, but yeah, we're back home. We are home from Oslo, and I'm going to talk about what happened Sunday morning, afternoon, and night, and then maybe a little bit about Monday as well. I think I'm going to edit this vlog in a way where I'm going to talk over the things that happened and then show the footage that I filmed when I talk about that moment, because I just think that's the easiest way to do it, because I've already spoke about Saturday. I think I'm going to do them in separate videos. I don't really know how I'm going to go about editing this vlog thing yet. Sunday was eventful as well. Well, obviously it was eventful as well. And yeah, there's some things that need to be spoken about because, oh, just the best time. I can't believe I'm back already, even though you're going to see all the stuff that we did. It's weird being back. It took me 15 hours yesterday from waking up. I woke up at 7, and then I think I got in at 11 o'clock, something like that. So yeah, anyway, it was a long time traveling around, but it was worth it. I'd do it again for sure. Right then, so I think I left off in the last vlog was all of Saturday, so I spoke about all of that. I also have I would do this at the end of when I spoke about the Sunday, but I asked on Instagram and Twitter for any questions that anyone might have about the convention, so I will answer all of those at the end of this. So Sunday, right? So I've written down a few things because I wanted to really try and pick up on everything that I spoke about with not everything. I'm not going to speak about everything because there was a lot. But just the main things we kind of spoke about. But started off, we were doing the SKAM safari tour, and that's where we go around locations from the SKAM universe. I think they had ones with Marlon, Henrik, Sasha, and then basically all of the Italia crew. Obviously, I picked the Italia crew. And yeah, so I met up with them in the morning, and we started to just go around all the locations in SKAM. I don't know which order I'll show. I didn't take much footage of all of them, but just places like the cafe that Isaac and Evan go to, Nora's apartment, Isaac's apartment as well, the karaoke bar, and where Isaac gets punched in the face and stuff. We went to the church from season 3, episode 9. We went to Evan's old school. We don't see it in SKAM, but the first school that he mentions. We went there. Ava and Jonas kind of argue in season 1. There's one of the places where they argue with the trams going past them and stuff. We went to the bench where a lot of the conversations happen. So yeah, there's a couple more places as well, but they were the main ones, and it was just so cool seeing them in person, because it's the show that we've been watching for so long. So yeah, I met up with the Italia cast and we started to go through that journey. That was about 2 hours overall.
And it's a wrap.
Yeah, we just got to speak with the actors for 2 hours, pretty much just walking around Oslo. I've got some things that I spoke about that I kind of wanted to touch on, and this one was, so we were walking for about 10 minutes and just normal chat, and then we got on the first tram. We had to catch 3 trams to get to other locations, and I was kind of stood here and speaking to Federico and Rocco, and someone said, I don't know who it was, they were further down the tram, and they shouted how it's kind of how Isaac and Evan meet on the tram and stuff. So you this, it's happening or whatever. And then they laughed and it was all cool and stuff. And then everyone started talking again, and then they just started to recreate the scene, the Italian scene where Niccolo and Martino meet. But they started to do it in English, and they were just reciting the lines. I was just stood here, and they were both doing it there outside. I was like, what's happening right now? I really wish I don't wish I'd filmed it, because I don't want to be there filming everything. I've said that a million times. But it was cool. It would have been cool to have that on camera, but it was so funny just watching them do it in English. So yeah, they did that scene. They didn't do the whole thing. They just did a few of the lines, but it was kind of funny. And then they were laughing and stuff. I need to put brakes on this seat because I keep rolling back and forth. And then we went around some other locations. That was like, I'll talk about like the main thing. There was like more little bits of talk here and there. And then I started to talk to Rocco about Game of Thrones because he said on the panel that Game of Thrones was like his favourite show of all time. So we just started to talk about that a little bit. Well, I thought it would be a little bit. It was more like 10 to 15 minutes of him. He just started quoting Game of Thrones lines to me, like over and over, and I was loving it. Like he'd do a quote and then I'd do a quote, and we just did that for like a couple of minutes. It was so funny. And he was saying how Tywin is his favourite character. I think it was his favourite character. And then Nicholas, who plays the Italian Magnus, I think he heard us talking about Game of Thrones, and he just turned around. He's like, "You're talking about Game of Thrones?" So we were just talking about that. Like, this was on the second tram, so the whole second tram ride, we were just talking about Game of Thrones, and you know, Rocco kept doing quotes, and it was so funny. I said this. I did an Instagram live stream last night, and I said it there, but every time he'd do a quote, he'd do it in a British accent, because it's pretty much like an entire British cast. He'd do it in a British accent, and then he'd like look at me when he did it, and he'd do like the Rocco smile. He was like so proud of himself. I even said that to him. I was like, "You're proud of yourself for that one, aren't you?" And he's like nodding, and then he'd do another one, and he just kept quoting. He's like, "Lannisters send their regards," and the one from Tyrion where it's like, "I drink and I know things," and he just kept it. Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, we just spoke, and then we were speaking about who we think will end up on the throne and certain scenes. So we were just talking about that, and because Game of Thrones is one of my favorite shows of all time as well, and that was funny. So that was the second tram ride.
This is the place. The apartment is here, but actually Nora's Isa's is not here. It's up in NRK.
And then I think this is around when we got to the church location, I want to say. And then Rocco started to talk about, I think I spoke to Rocco the most out of everyone, but he was so, like, he shared so much time with everyone. Like, he made sure to speak to everyone, which was great. All the actors did, don't get me wrong, but Rocco was, like, definitely, like, making sure to do that. And he started to tell me he has a ring on his, I think it's his right hand. He has like and I pointed out, I said that like it's a cool ring and stuff, and then he told me like a little story.
Grazie mille.
Yeah, it means you're welcome.
And then we were waiting for the third tram, I want to say. I think it was the third one. We went to the church, and then we went on to the third tram. I think there was 3 trams, unless it was like the other way around, where the Game of Thrones was on the first tram, but it was just longer. It was a longer ride in my head. I can't remember. And someone started watching the clip from the first clip from episode 8, and I think Rocco said like, "No, we can't see this," like, because obviously I'd wait till the whole episode basically is out. And they still watch it, and everyone was like laughing. It was all cool, and I was like, no, I was like dead sad because I couldn't see anything, because it's a shame. I really wanted to see it. It sounds like a good clip. I still can't watch it. I still haven't seen it, but it sounds like a good clip. And yeah, then we were talking about the reactions for a little bit, which is really weird because obviously the whole time I've been there like speaking to them about Italia and what it's like filming on set and little things like that, and then they just started to ask, or Rocco more, and Federico was there like talking about it a bit as well, asking what made me start doing reactions, how I'm enjoying the Italia version compared to the OG one. So yeah, that was really strange, like looking back on it now, but talking about that with them, and they seemed genuinely interested, so that was nice. They weren't like, you know, they seemed to like actually want to have a conversation about it, which was really nice. So yeah, then that was all that, and then we called the tram, got to the final few places, and started to see those. On that tram, I spoke a bit to Beatrice, who plays Sana, and Martini, I want to say, who plays Italian Chris, or Fede? I'm terrible with names. And I was just like asking them about their trip in Oslo, if they're enjoying it and everything like that, and they were telling me a little bit about Rome. And yeah, they're so nice. Beatrice is so, oh my god, she's incredible. I loved her anyway, but I think like talking to her and like, you know, interacting with her a bit in person, I think she's just amazing. She's so funny as well. Like I've got the escape room to talk about later, but she's so funny, and I don't know. I think I might have found like another fanboy actress to fanboy over, because she's just amazing. She's so small as well. She's like, I think when she was like here on me or something, she was so tiny. But yeah, I spoke to them a little bit on the third tram, and then we were starting to walk, and then I started to speak to Federico about. I'm just keep talking about things that I did. Obviously, there was a lot more going on. They were speaking to other things, and there's a lot of other stuff going on. But I'm just speaking like what I spoke to them about. Then I spoke to Federico about like TV shows that he was watching. I think someone else actually brought up the conversation, and then I think they kind of went forward. I don't know, started walking on this, so I just kind of picked back up with the conversation. And he was telling me that he just finished watching The Haunting of Hill House, and then I was, you know, saying how good I haven't finished it yet. I'm still on episode 8, so very close to the end. But I was telling him what I thought of it and stuff. Then he was talking about other shows that he'd watched.
I like a lot Hill House by now. I've seen La Casa de Papel.
Yeah, she's watching it.
Then I spoke more to Rocco, and he was telling me about how much he wanted to visit England, because it was something to do with theatre. I think, like he said, England is very, especially London as well, is very kind of theatre. We love theatre over here, kind of thing. And he wanted to visit for that. And he said he believes that the best actors in the world are British. And then we just start talking about certain British actors, and then that led on to talking about Lord of the Rings. I was like, I'm assuming if you like Game of Thrones, you like Lord of the Rings as well. And then his eyes lit up, and he did the Rocco smile again, and I was like, boom, nailed it. Yes, he likes Lord of the Rings. And his favourite, if you want to know, is Fellowship of the Ring. Mine was Return of the King, so we spoke about what we liked about Lord of the Rings, which was cool. And then he started to quote Lord of the Rings as well. His favourite character is also Gandalf and Galadriel, if you wanted to know that. And then we started to talk about our love and appreciation for Samwise Gamgee. So they're like my favourite films of all time. So I got to speak about Lord of the Rings with Rocco, the most beautiful human in the world. Well, even though all of the Italian cast are kind of the most beautiful, but whatever. So that was cool. So we spoke about Lord of the Rings for like 5 minutes, and theatre and British actors, which was just crazy. And then, like I say, he started to do more quotes. I think he just likes quoting films. Oh yeah, and then The Hobbits. We started to talk about how he said he was really sad when they changed it from practical effects to CGI in The Hobbit. And I was like, I feel you. Oh, and he loves books as well. Like he was saying, like growing up, he's always been reading books, and there's a story in the Lord of the Rings universe that he hopes like Peter Jackson or no one ever touches, because he loves it so much. He just wants it left as like the book, and I can't remember exactly which one it was. He did tell me, but I cannot remember. So sorry for that. But yeah, that was cool.
It's so small, like really tiny. This no.
Then this was towards the end a little bit. I spoke to, then more went on. Then at the end, I spoke to Rocco and Federico again, and they were saying that I needed to come to Rome, which I was like, obviously I'll come to Rome. If you're telling me to come to Rome, I'll come to Rome. And then I think that was basically everything for the safari. They're like the main conversations I kind of had.
Yeah. This is where Sana and Isa was. Down by the road is where Isa came out to Jonas. down by the road. They're waiting.
I didn't even realise like how dark the room is. Sorry for lighting. It doesn't matter though. And yeah, then what did we do after these? Oh, so then we went to the benches. This was towards the end where like we saw the benches with where Sana and everyone kind of sit on. And we all met up with the other safari crews, so like Henrik's and Sasha's and back together. We're all taking photos, and that's where I got the one with Federico and Rocco. And then again, like I kind of feel weird mentioning it, but again, thank you to everyone who came up then and said that they enjoyed the videos that I do, because I think quite a couple of people at least came and mentioned that, so thank you very much. Like I say, it's just strange kind of saying that, but yes, thank you. And someone from the Rainbow team was like, oh, we've got a little surprise, and they took Beatrice, who plays Sana, even though I'm saying her name wrong, to sit on a bench. And in my head I was like, wait a minute, I know this road. And then someone in the like crowd group bit said what was about to happen, and it was that. And then the Lost Losers van, like the actual van, pulled up, like it came driving down the road with Lost Losers on the side of it. And then Beatrice like ran up and got inside it, like the music was playing and stuff. It was a recreation of the scene just with the Italia cast, and it was beautiful. It was so good. Didn't expect that. Like there's some little things like that, and Rocco playing the piano that were just not expected. So that was, and also the clothing of the clothes that the actors wore were there as well. So yeah, that was crazy. And you know, they recreated the scene and they were having so much fun. And then all the actors got in the van and drove off, ready for the escape room. And yeah, that was something that happened. That was just 2 hours. That was just 2 hours of the day. We hadn't even got into the night yet, so but that was pretty much the morning of the Sunday. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to vlog a little bit, and that I also asked Federico during that, like, is it okay if I film and you don't mind if I get like you guys in there sometimes, do you? And he was like, absolutely, he absolutely did not mind, so that was great. Yeah, that was the morning, and then we made our way to the escape room. I've never done an escape room before, so it was kind of exciting. I didn't really know what to expect. We were kind of waiting around for a little bit, waiting for the actors and actresses to have a little break because they'd been, they'd had a busy couple of days. Greta actually managed to make it to the escape room, so she walked in, and someone was like, you do know Greta's coming now, she's coming. And I was like, wait, what? And then Greta walked in. I was like, shit. Had to play it cool though, you know what I mean? Because I was with the Italia girl group, and then they formed with the boy group, so we just had like the Italia cast minus Federico and Rocco. They were with another team, and then I think there was Henrik, and then Sasha and Marlon. So I think those four. I might be wrong. I think there's 4 groups overall. There might have been 3. I think Henrik might have been with Rocco and Federico, and then there was Sasha and Marlon. I think that's right. I could be wrong though, because like I say, I was with the Italian girl and boy group, so I wasn't in those 2 groups. So Greta made it, which was great, and then we. Does that work? Greta, great? No, not really. And then we did the escape room for about. We had an hour to do it. I think we did it in about 45 minutes. So that was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed the escape room. I felt useless. I didn't really help in any way. I was just kind of like, this is fun, just enjoying myself. But Beatrice especially really got into it. She was so funny in the escape room. Like every time we'd figure something out, she was like clapping and getting everyone into it. So she was adorable. Like I said, she was trying to like figure everything out. She was going around the room and getting really into it. Well, actually, all of the Italians were really getting into it, but she was like most definitely like up there as I think enjoying it the most. So that was funny to see. And yeah, we did the escape room. That was 45 minutes. We didn't really get to talk much with it because it wasn't really like a moment to talk to people. You were just kind of doing an escape room, so enjoying that. Yeah, we didn't go past the time limit, which was nice. We actually managed to complete it. I think we came third, so I think we came last, but only by a split second. I think Henrik's team won. No, Marlon's team won, by far, and then the second team finished, and I think we finished literally 2 minutes after them, something like that. So we almost came second, but we came third. But it was a lot of fun, so I really enjoyed that. And then it was the afternoon tea, which I didn't have tickets for, with Rocco, Federico, and Henrik. So I kind of dispersed. Dispersed. I got another photo with the Italia group before I left, I think, and spoke a little bit to them, not too much though, because there was a lot of people there, and they were going off to do other things. So I went back to the place I was at for a little bit, and that was pretty much the convention finished at that point, which was like wonderful. So everything had finished then, because you did have the afternoon tea, but like I said, didn't have tickets to that. So I think that moment would have pretty much been the end of it, but that was the end of it for me. But the night before, so I think it was Saturday night, I got an email basically saying that I was invited to the after party with the Italia, like the Rainbow team and the Italia cast. And I was like, I didn't have tickets to that. I didn't think I had tickets to an after party, and I checked and there was nothing there for an after party. So I emailed back and I was like a bit confused, like what was happening. But no, it was just like an after party thing that was to celebrate the end of the convention. So obviously all the Rainbow team and everyone who helped in some way organize the convention went. So I think that was about 24 people. There's a lot of people, and I just randomly got an invite. I don't know who else got an invite, because I was really confused if it was part of the convention or not, and it wasn't. So I was like, wait, are you sure? Like, I don't think I'm meant to be there, but no, I just got an invite to that, which was, awesome, obviously. I asked if I could bring some friends, and they said that was okay, because you don't really want to go by yourself. So, yeah, got Victoria and Rebecca to come, and we just went to an after party with the Italia cast. And then this is where things got wild. This was probably the highlight of my entire weekend. Was the after party basically started at 7, half 7, I'd say. Half 7. The Italia cast didn't get there till around 9, but we started and we were having, tons of fun with that. So we were just like all chilling, chatting, drinking, eating. And then the Italia cast got there. And then I was speaking to Federico a little bit more. And Rocco. It's like mainly these two, it seems. So speaking to them, then I spoke to Beatrice a little bit, and this was when they were telling me how to pronounce everyone's name. They not told me, because I can't remember for the life of me, because it wasn't really a teaching lesson. It was just them telling me Italian phrases. So that was kind of funny. And then we moved anyway. So that went on for about an hour, I'd say. We got pizza and everything. So I'd say it was around 10 o'clock at this point. Actually, it might have been like 10:30. Yeah, I think it was about 10:30, close to 11. And then we were going to try and find a bar to go to. But there were so many people and not everyone had bought IDs with them. So we went to the bar, but then didn't. We kind of went straight back out. And we just kind of all stood around, like just talking, and I didn't really know what was happening at that point. And then this is when I got this clip with Federico. We were like walking. I think this was on the way to the bar, so this was just before we got there. And I said to him, like, I wanted to make completely sure, like, is it okay if I do film something for, because I'm doing a vlog for Oslo. I know I mentioned it like earlier, but is it still okay and stuff? And again, he was completely fine with it. He said, "Absolutely, I want to be in it. Do it, like kind of thing." And so yeah, then I got this clip, I guess. Right. So I need to say, because of this weekend, that I love you and Rocco to absolute pieces.
Thank
like,
you so much.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, guys, he's a really good guy. I'm sorry for my English, but he's a really good guy.
Your English is amazing.
Oh, thank
like
you.
he's actually, we're all just chilling out, so it's good. It's cool.
Thank you.
He's trying to make me be drunk tonight as well.
Oh,
So
you're the best, Joseph.
you are the best. Oh, great. Oh shit! No.
Holy shit!
Look!
Oh god!
We've got the whole crew going on.
Hi.
Yeah, we got this.
All crew.
We're doing a whole vlog for Oslo. So
Yeah, hanging out in Oslo.
I know, after party, why not? Is Greta drunk or is she?
No, I'm not.
She's not.
okay.
Okay, she's good. Which is crazy. He, it was so funny, like filming it, and I think it's a little bit edited, but because I brought the camera down to like finish it, and I think I stopped recording, and then as soon as I stopped, like Greta shouted, "Oh, you're filming? Are you filming? Like I want to be in it." And then that's when I just pressed it straight away back up because I was still on like the video thing, and then pulled it back up, and that's when Greta came round, and it was that was a moment. That was one of my favorite moments. Was just kind of, doing that. He was a little bit tipsy, bless him, but he's so adorable. But like, I think everyone was a little bit tipsy, but like I wouldn't say anyone was really drunk. Like no one was really drunk, but tipsy definitely. And yeah, when Greta comes up and she does her little wave and she's like laughing and stuff, I was like, oh my heart. I've got like Federico and Greta here as well. Rocco was like further up talking to people, so I didn't want to like shout him because that was like one of my favorite moments. I loved that. And then we spoke a little bit more after I stopped the camera because I only wanted to do it for like, I think it was pretty much 40 seconds, was it? Maybe a minute. So I didn't want to like do too much. I was like, yeah, I'm happy with that. And then we spoke a little bit more when we were walking. And before that, like I think I mentioned it in that clip, but he was like, I'm going to get you drunk tonight. I'm going to get you drunk. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we were talking about like the drinks that he likes and stuff when he goes up. But apparently he says he's not much of a drinker, just in, when you're out and about. So I was like, I'll join you then, I guess. And then we just stood there, and then 5 taxis pulled up, and I was like, what? And basically someone said that we're going to their house, and I was like, okay, sick. Me and Victoria were just very confused. We were like, what is happening right now? And we just got into the taxi, because I guess that's what you do when you're told. Probably not the smartest, but everyone else was doing it. It was fine. We all got in the taxi, like me, Lizzie, Victoria. I can't remember who else was in there. And then Fed and Rico got in some other taxis and everyone. And then we were stood there like waiting. And then Beatrice and Greta just sit in the front bit. And I was like, cool, sick. Just sharing a taxi with Beatrice and Greta, I guess. And then we went off to the house. Lizzie, what's happening? I'm scared. Are you trying to get out? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Mad. Which was cool, I guess. And then we had a house party for like, I'd say 3 hours. I was there for 5 hours, but it was 3 hours. Long story. Fuck's sake. And then I can't even remember, like, I was not drunk, I was like absolutely fine, but there was so much happened. There was, Ludovico was like, we all sat down, we were all just chilling for a bit, like Federico and Rocco were singing and dancing, and so was Ludovico, I think. And yeah, he started to, and then he was like, do any of you play drinking games? We need to play drinking games. So we started to play drinking games for like an hour, and this was so weird because I was like kind of sat here and like I like Rebecca and Victoria, like they're just chilling, and then you look there. Well, actually, it was like Victoria, and then Ludovico was next to her, and then to my right there was Rebecca, two other people from the convention. I can't remember exactly who, and then just on the sofa, like whenever I looked to the right on the sofa, I just was like, I'm playing drinking games, and then there's Martini, Greta was sat there, Beatrice, Nicholas, they were just chilling, and then you look to your left, and then there was Federico and Rocco just dancing, and then, talked more, everyone was having a good time. And then the Italia cast were eventually left around, maybe it was like 1:30, 1ish, I don't know. It was like they were there for really like a couple of hours, I think. So that was a lot of fun. And then they all went off. And everyone, not everyone, but then most people started to disperse at that point. But I went to say bye to them all. This was the last time I saw them. So, went downstairs, hugged Rocco and Federico, and then they were again said you have to come to Rome. I was like, yep, cool. So that was great. And then said bye to Nicholas. And then, of course, I said bye to Beatrice and Martina, and then Greta came out. And I was like, goodbye. And I was just saying, like, how nice it was to finally meet her, and she said the same. And, said travel safely and all that good stuff. All that stuff, but, yeah, it was, like I think I said it in the last one, but to finally, like, I know how amazing it was to meet Fedo and Rockerico, but you know me, it was like Greta was the one that I was most nervous for, and it was so wonderful to, like, actually talk to her and get to know her a little bit. Like I say, we didn't, like, have too many conversations, but the ones that I did have, but, seared into my memory forever, which is really cool. And she's so nice. All of them are amazing, but yeah, like I said, you know me, that was the one I was like most nervous for, and it all went well. And then Italia cast left. That was all that. And then I hung around. A few people hung around for a couple more hours. I walked back with Ilse and Victoria, I think. Yeah. So that was about an hour of walking overall, because I walked them back and then walked home. I can't remember. It was a lot of walking. I think I got back at 4 a.m. and then woke up at 7 on Monday, ready to travel out, and then did a lot of traveling for 15 hours. So I wanted to do this video when I got back yesterday, but I was like, I'm too tired. I'm gonna have to wait on that. So I'm doing it in the morning now on Tuesday. And yeah, Rocco followed me on Instagram, liked some shit, and then he replied saying, I said I'm going to beat you in a Game of Thrones quote battle next time. And he said, until next time, my friend. I was like, my heart, he's so lovely. And then Greta also messaged saying it was great to meet you and stuff. And, I think she said something like, thanks for sharing your time with us. And I was like, I meant to say that to you. But okay, I mean, whatever. So, yeah, they're also nice. Not enough. I always say this. I think it's the wrong phrase, but not enough good things to say about them. They're incredible. So, Q&A bit. That was basically the entire weekend, and then said bye to Rebecca and Victoria. We went to the airport together, and that was sad. I missed them both already. They were so nice. Thank you to you two for letting me hang around, because I really didn't know them before Friday. Did you have fun?
I'm dead.
And now they're two of my favourite people in the world, so that's, along with Italia cast, maybe my mum. I guess my mum's kind of cool. Abby, my sister, is kind of cool as well. A handful of people, and they're in that kind of handful of people, so yeah, thanks for letting me hang around. I keep getting, go away, notifications. Right, I have the questions somewhere here. I have some from Instagram and some from Twitter, so let me just get those up. But that's basically everything that happened. I'm sorry if the editing to this is a bit all over the place, but Right, first question: any spoiler or hints about future episodes of SKAM Italia? I know it's impossible, but don't blame me for trying. They didn't really give any spoilers. I didn't really ask, to be fair. They didn't really say too much about that. All he really said is he thinks that the director knows what he's doing, and there's a reason as to why seasons 2 and 3 have been swapped. So, but yeah. How much in love do you think Henrik is with them, especially with Rocco? Because I mean, Henrik adores them to pieces. He was so friendly with them, and they were so friendly with him. And like I said, Henrik was really good at kind of breaking the ice with everyone, just making everything really relaxed and chill, which I really like about him. So they all adore each other. I think it was funny seeing those three interact for sure. Next question. Where did you buy the SKAM books? How much are they? Desperately want to buy them. There were 2 bookstores in Oslo that sold them. Went to the first one and they had the first and second season. And they didn't have 3 and 4, so we went to a second bookstore. I wasn't going to buy the 3rd and 4th book. I was quite happy to just have book 2 in my possession. And then Victoria was like, you can't have an incomplete set, you need all 4 of them. So I was like, yo, did this bish actually make me spend more money? So then I've spent like way too much on books. I don't have them with me. I would show them, but I'll put up a photo on Instagram later or something. And how much were they? A lot. And did they tell you any behind the scenes memories? A couple, not too much. They didn't go too much into detail on, or at least to me. They probably would have with other people, but yeah, a little bit. Next question: does the Scam Italia cast watch your videos? I think all of them, apart from the only one that didn't mention that they hadn't was, I think, Nicholas and Ludovico. So I was reading another message. Ludovico and Nicholas were the only 2 that mentioned that they had, or didn't say that they had. Pretty much all the others said that they'd watched them, which was crazy. I think Rocco 4 times at least said, I'm going to keep watching your reactions, and then I'd always say, like, as long as you keep making Italia, I'll keep making the reactions, so don't stop doing it. Do it. Give us 20,000 seasons. I didn't say that, but I would need 20,000 seasons. Yeah, so like I said, someone told me about 2 weeks ago that Federico had seen my videos, and I was like, I don't believe that. Like, you know, it's just, I just find it unlikely that Federico would watch them. The only one that I thought maybe might have seen them was Greta. And even then it might have just been like a little bit here and there, but it's like on the Saturday, which I mentioned yesterday, talking to Federico and him being like, I love your videos so much, and then Rocco running up and being like, I love you. That was the most surreal moment ever. Like when the photo where they're just like kind of talking and telling me that they all like the videos, and I was like, oh my god. And then Beatrice was like saying, she's so beautiful. Oh my god. Sorry, I just got like an image of her in my mind, and I was like, oh my god. She's amazing. She's so funny. Where was I? Beatrice distracted me. Zone back in. Okay, cool. And then they were, talking about that. So, like I say, yes, they do. That feels weird to say. And I actually forgot to mention that on the Safari bit as well, but Rocco was saying that he's very excited to watch the episode 7 reaction. And I was like, well, okay, cool. I mean, whatever you want to spend with your free time, you do that. Next question. I'm pretty sure you managed to talk about your reactions to Scam Italia to the Italian cast. So what did they say about them? Who was the first one to recognise you and be like, I know you, I watched your videos? It was Federico. We kind of, like I said yesterday, we locked eyes for a split second, and both of us were kind of, not by ourselves, but we had just wrapped up a conversation, and then he came up to me, and that was like my heart. So Federico was the first one, but Rocco was like instantly behind him. He kind of just popped his head out of nowhere. It was like, so watch your videos as well, which it feels weird saying that, like, really. And also, which actor among the Norwegian and the Italian cast was the most welcoming, fun, etc., according to your experience? I don't like comparing them like that because it would have been different for everyone. I'd say for me personally, the most welcoming was Rocco and Federico. They were the 2 that I spoke to the most by far. But they're just like that as people. It seems like like say Rocco was very much kind of talking to everyone. But I could also see it being Henrik for a lot of people. While I didn't get to talk to him too much, he seemed like he made everyone feel at ease. He was always, trying to start a conversation with people. So for me personally, I'd say Federico and Rocco, but Henrik for other people, I'm sure. But then Beatrice and Greta and all of them, like whenever I did speak to them, they were amazing. It's just that those 2 were the ones that I spoke to the most, I'd say. So yes. Next question. Is Federico as soft and warm and nice as he seems, even more so by far. Like before I met him, I was like, oh, he's gonna be lovely. He's like the cutest. Like on the panel, he was like, I'm so sorry for my English, and I was like, bitch, your English is good. Stop. Like he said it so many times. I was like, everyone's English is great. So I don't know. They said sorry for that way too many times. I was like, don't be sorry, please. But no, it's it was cool, and he's so adorable. Like even when he was like tipsy, he was just like so. He'd always have his arm around you whenever he talked to you. He'd always, whenever you say if you like the character or a certain scene, he'd really take it in and be he's like so thankful to everyone who's said anything nice to him. He was, yes, Federico is lovely. They all are, but Federico is lovely. Hey, next question. Hey, I wonder if Rocco has signed the autographs. If so, could you please take a photo of it? That would be really nice. Thank you in advance. I didn't get autographs from Rocco or Greta or Beatrice or I think the only Italian I got was Federico and Nicholas. Again, I didn't want to have a book in front of them all sign. So I don't have an autograph from Rocco, unfortunately. But maybe next time. Next question. Was the Argentinian girl there? I'm from Argentina too, and I wish I was able to go. You are the best, Joe. She was not, unfortunately. It would have been great if she was, but I'm assuming the Argentinian girl. Is she? Why did I instantly think of Emma? Is that the blonde? Is that who you're on about? She wasn't there. No, Emma wasn't there either. But no, she was not there. I love all your reactions with the Italia cast, but we must know about your meeting Henrik. I think did I mention that in Saturday, the last one? I think I did. So watched that one, and that's my meeting with Henrik. That was the only time I spoke to him really. I kind of locked eyes with him a couple of times, I guess, but never really spoke to him apart from that one time. But he's lovely. He's great. And like I said, very, very chilled out, which is nice. I actually speak to Victoria and Rebecca because they interacted with him a lot more than I did, so they probably have more to say about him than I do. Next question, just tell us all about what you, Federico, and Rocco talked about. Oh my god. Yeah, I think we just spoke about that for 50 minutes. But a lot of different things, which was, I'm sure they're exhausted because they must have had, if that's how much just me talk to them, I can't imagine what it was like for them to talk to everyone because they really spent a lot of time with so many people. But they really seemed to enjoy it, so that was great. Next question, Did you get the feeling there is a lot of Ludovico in Giovanni, and of the cast's dynamics to those of the boy squad? Really happy for you, and thanks for your videos. Love from an Italian transplanted to the British land. Okay, I had to read that one. So, Italian transplanted to the British land. Ludovico in Giovanni. Yeah, it seems like he really enjoys partying. From what I could tell, he's very much so the life of the party. Easily, he was the one initiating all the drinking games and singing and stuff. He was really into it. So. It's hard to say though if he's similar to Giovanni because I don't know him, so I'm just going off from what I saw, and he's lovely. He's such a nice guy, from what I could tell as well. So I guess Giovanni's really nice as well. So there's a similarity, but yeah, and then you said the boy squad. So Nicholas as well. Nicholas is really funny, just like his character. So that's great. I didn't speak to him too much. I think I spoke to him maybe 3 times a little bit. And again, just like the others, really, really nice guy. And I hope he had a lot of fun. It seemed like he did. Next question. Who from the cast did you have the best conversation with during the convention? The one that I was most looking forward to and that I'm so happy about was Greta. I wanted to meet her for so many months now. Finally did. Best conversation though, I can't really pinpoint one because I had a really good conversation with Greta, Beatrice, Federico, Rocco. I'd say those 4 mainly, the ones that I had like a nice conversation with, and all one of those conversations were different and, you know, in their own way. So I can't really pick a best, but they were all lovely. Next question was spoil everything, bro. No, I will not spoil anything. But nice try. Who's the funniest out of the SKAM Italia cast? Who would be someone you'd like to hang out with? Funniest was Nicholas and Ludovico. But the ones I'd like to hang out with the most would be Greta, Beatrice, Rocco, Federico, and Nicholas, Ludovico, and Martina. So all of them. Yeah. Greta. We'll go Greta. It's amazing. I would have liked to talk to her a lot more, but I didn't want to, bother her too much. She was like, I'm happy talking to you just the once. But we spoke more than once, but I meant like the first time. I was like, even that's enough for me. Oh my god, how do I mute this? Boom. How was the whole experience? Did you enjoy spending time with the Italian cast? I'm Italian and a huge fan of the OG SKAM and SKAM Italia. I hope they'll do a meet and greet or a con in Italy ASAP. P.S. Greta is a queen. She is a queen. Most definitely is a queen. Yep, it was the best weekend of my life, so if that narrows it down for you, there you go. It was incredible. Loved every minute of it. Hi, wanted to ask, did you talk easily with the cast after the convention? And what about more or less? Sorry for my English, it is not correct. No, your English is fantastic, do not worry. Yep, spoke a little bit, spoke about what I spoke about with the cast after the convention. So, yes. Thank you for your question. I'm going to got 5 more, and then I'll try and read some from Twitter, I guess. Did the cast teach you any word in Italian except the correct pronunciation of Greta? Yeah, they told me how to say all of their names, and then I did it with my heavy English accent and got it wrong, but it was worth it. It was cool. So, yeah, they were fine with it. It was great. Are the actors similar to their character in any way? Like I said, I don't know them. Rocco smiles a lot. Like he smiles all the time. So that for sure. Federico is, I guess, like just kind of chilled, relaxed, enjoying life. I don't know. I can't really comment too much on that because I don't know them as people, but from what I could tell, little bits here and there for sure. But again, their characters, these are real people, so it's difficult to say. How was it speaking with the Italian cast? Fantastic, obviously. What did the actors tell you about the set of SKAM Italia? Like I said, not too much. Not to me, but they might have to other people. And then the final one from Instagram, did they all seem to be really close? And I hope you enjoyed your weekend. Can't wait to hear about it. Yes, absolutely. They all adore each other so much. They always had their arms around each other, and they were always hugging each other, and make sure they were all okay. They just wanted to look after each other. So they are definitely a very close cast. You could tell that instantly. So, which is nice. It's always nice seeing a cast that are actually really good friends. Offset as well. So, yeah, definitely. Right, I'm going to try and find the bit where I asked for questions on Twitter. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm going to read ones that maybe are a little bit different because I don't want this video to be too long, even though it's going to be pretty much an hour. So, never mind. Oh, here we go. Found it. Are Victoria and Rebecca your parents? I guess so. What's in Nicholas's ass? Yes. Not a question, but yes. I do wonder. How did the after party with the cast go? It was amazing. Loved it. I'm curious who was the best who did you feel the most comfortable with? I don't know that word. All of them. They're all. I spoke the most to Rocco, but I was comfortable with all of them. Tell me about Henrik, please. Favorite moment from your trip. If you can't pick one, I'll do a top 5 in a minute. But like I said, Henrik is wonderful. Who watches your videos? What part of the convention did you enjoy? I enjoyed all of the convention. So stereotypical to say, but I really did. And like I said, I think majority said they watched my videos, which is crazy. What was the best part of the night? Drinking games with the Italia cast was so surreal, so I'd say that. What was your low moment? I guess like traveling back yesterday was very just stressful, but there wasn't a low moment. There wasn't a moment where I was like, ugh, this is depressing. Yeah, I guess when I got home, when I was traveling, I was like, I want to get home because I don't want to be traveling because it's annoying. But then when you get home, you're like, oh, it's all over. So I guess that's a low moment. 4 more. Tell us your impression about the OG cast that you and Do the Streets of Oslo have SKAM vibes. Oslo's, I haven't spoken enough about Oslo as a place, but absolutely beautiful. Definitely has SKAM vibes. And the OG cast were amazing. Like they were wonderful. Sadly, didn't get to meet Marlon and Lisa, and I forgot her name, but he actually plays Lynn. I did meet Sasha and Henrik though, and Sasha is, he's kind of a bit shy, but he is wonderful. He was really nice to talk to. I think I again mentioned that yesterday, and I said Henrik's amazing as well. Who is shyer, Rocco or Fede? I think Federico, when he's speaking to like groups of people, Rocco's definitely seems to be a lot more confident, but one-on-one, like just talking to them, they were both like, completely comfortable. So shyer, I'd say Federico, maybe in front of a lot of people, but when you're just talking to them, they're both fantastic. Joe, I'm so happy that you had this experience and that it was better than you could have imagined. But before you went, were you a little worried you couldn't afford it? So I was wondering, do you have to stretch? I was a little worried. So do you have to stretch it now? Worth it, of course, or was it not as expensive as you thought? It was expensive, yes. It's always going to be expensive traveling to another country and, paying for a convention and then, food and all that stuff. And then Norway in itself is expensive anyway, especially in Oslo. But absolutely worth it. I'm not gonna have to stretch it for like I'm fine, but it was definitely worth it. I wouldn't change a thing. Like I would do it again tomorrow. Like I'll do it again tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe the day after tomorrow because I need like 1 day to rest. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm like planning on going to Rome ASAP pretty much. So not December. Like December, I'm just like Christmas chill, and then maybe even January chill. But from February, I'm gonna plan the next trip for sure. And see what happens. Like we'll see what happens. Maybe we got more surprises. Who knows? More surprises. How is it like meeting the whole? A final question: how is it like meeting the whole cast? What did you, Federico, and Nicolo talk about? And in detail in caps. I've done as much detail as I possibly can, but it was the best experience of my life. There we go. Done. That is the convention. Done. So this was an hour. The last one was 50 minutes. So it's like 2 hours, I guess, of me just rambling on. I hope that's okay with you guys. Thank you to everyone who helped arrange the convention. It was the best weekend of my life. It ran so smoothly. Everything. I can't compare it to other conventions because it's the first one I've ever been to. But from what I could tell and from what I heard, it was very well organised compared. Everyone there was, amazing, very, very helpful. Thank you as well. But thanks for like the after party and all that stuff. Just, yeah. It's just crazy. I can't believe it's all over. To everyone that I met there, Victoria and Rebecca especially, like, thank you for, letting me tag along and just, because I went there by myself. I didn't really know anyone who was going to be there, but now, made loads of new friends, and it was, I don't know why I keep doing this. Watch out. So, that's it. And then, obviously, thanks to, like, the OG cast, the producers from NRK that came, like, costume designer and all that stuff, and then the Italia cast, and Julie Andam for even making, like, something like this possible is, all over. There we go. Cool. Done. Bye. Cool. Yeah. Sick. I can't even. I will see you maybe in Rome soon. Who knows? Maybe not. Okay, yeah, bye. Oh my god. Side note, gonna say this straight away. Federico, Rocco, Greta, and Beatrice, especially, just I love them so much, and it's gonna be weird reacting to episodes now. But I met Greta finally. We did it. I said last month I want to meet her, and we did it. And it's, you know, checklist. Meet Greta. Meet the Italian cast. But meet Greta. She's so beautiful, guys. She's like a goddess. Like when she just walked in, and I was like, what? Yo, I'll ramble for another 20 minutes. So yeah, bye.